And in the next few days, Nigeria will be 63 years. I will be asking my guest, Mr. Femi, how far have you gone? And how do we even get to this? At 63, are we getting it right? Or the present government in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will he be able to get it right? And for you to get it right, it's between myself, yourself, you viewers looking at us. You are the one that will assist to allow a safe path for Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, JCON. Mr. Femi, you are welcome on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Could you please, in your own view, how do we get, we will be 63 years old in the next couple of days.
In a few days' time, yes.
And a day recognized where lots of prayers will be on that day, on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
People will go to churches. Noise here and there. The Celestial we do. The KNS we do. The Apostolic we do. The Methodist we do. And again, don't forget, the Muslims too normally have their weekend prayers. Their own prayers too on that day. So it's going to be prayer. And that is why Mr. President, in the person of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is saying that this year anniversary will be a low-key one. How low-key do you think it's going to be? But I know that prayers will be number one.
It will be very much visible in all we are doing. Yes, you are right, sir. Now, to start with, I want to also congratulate our Muslim brothers and sisters, you know, on today's occasion of Eid al-Mawlud. And I wish all of them very well. I wish them the very best as we all try to join hands together to build Nigeria, a better Nigeria. As far as that question is concerned, you know, we can see that by coming on board, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown, you know, so much desire and interest in resolving most of our national problems. You know, starting with the appointment of key figures in strategic areas of the economy. And I want to believe that, just like you said, sir, if we want a Nigeria that is going to work eventually, we all need to have some level of faith in this administration. We need to begin to rebuild Nigeria, because the truth of the matter is that Nigeria has been battered seriously over the years, you know, by certain elements. Of course, much of, let me say, many of those elements are political, many are economic, many are also social. So it's an all-round experience that Nigeria has had in 62, going to be 63 years of age in the next few days. So what are we expecting, you know, from this new Nigeria? It is going to be, or is supposed to be, a Nigeria that is going to work, a Nigeria that is going to give you and I what we really desire, and that is a country where you can switch on your lights, you get electricity to use, a nation where people get water to use for various activities that we engage in on a daily basis, a Nigeria where education is affordable, you know, to the generality of the masses, and so on and so forth. But I want to say this, that even in a case where we are having a lot of controversies about, you know, how the government of the day is piloting its affairs, you mentioned something very, very key, which the president has also mentioned in the past few days. He's been calling for prayers, you know, both from the Islamic and Christian folds. And I think this is very important. There's no way we can cut off the issue of prayer in achieving a virile and forward-moving country, called Nigeria. We, of course, I've had people say, "Oh, we pray too much. The Christians have been praying, the Muslims have been praying for so many years, and nothing tangible is happening." Well, they may be right, those people, but personally, I believe that prayer is a strategic, element that you apply to your situation, whereby, even if it looks like, your prayers are not being answered, you are still expected to persist, to continue to pray until you get the kind of results that you want. I'm sure if I want to, let me use a simple analysis. Let's assume someone has a child, and this child, at the a stage of life where he begins to interact with other people so much that they are influencing him, where peer pressure has started to, impact that child. And you see that child misbehaving, doing some naughty things that you don't expect of him or her based on how you have brought that child up. Of course, you are not going to say because the child has behaved badly, then you are going to take a cutlass and cut that child into pieces. You don't do that. You have to work on the child, you counsel the child, you advise him, you pray for the child. I've seen so many cases like that, where, especially women, our women, they are so wonderful. They are the keepers of the home, and they are the custodian of life, if you understand what I'm saying. And you see so many mothers, they're out there always praying, even when the men don't have time for spiritual activities. The women, despite their tight schedule, would still make sure they pray for the children, they take care of them, bathe them and all. We all know the role that, a woman has been designed to play, in humanity. And all these things they've been doing. And at the end of the day, that child eventually, in most cases that I've seen, eventually come back on track. And that is why such mothers would be able to eat the fruits of their labor over that child in due course. Maybe the child ends up getting his degree and gets a good job, and the mother, she's happy. The parents are happy. The family is happy, except, of course, those who don't wish that child well. So if I put it in that perspective, that means that we cannot afford to give up on Nigeria.
No,
we can't.
It's the only home we have.
Yes, this is the only country we have, for crying out loud. And I would just want to seize this opportunity as Nigeria moves closely to that day. 1st of October is our National Independence Day. It's a memorable day, and it's a day that we should all be happy to celebrate. Although, like you said the other time, the president has said in his wisdom that it should be a low-key celebration. And what he has done majorly that makes us to know that he is really serious about this is the fact that he said he wouldn't be inviting presidents, leaders of other countries to join us for that celebration. And for me, I think that is really okay, because sometimes you need to do things differently. If you've been doing a particular thing using a particular pattern, and you are not really getting results, 62 plus, you can change your style. And in fact, there's this saying that goes that says the easiest definition of madness is to keep doing something the same way over and over and over again and expecting to get a different result. You have to change approach, change tactics, and that, for me, is a sign that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wants to change style, and we are hoping and praying that his approach to tackling the nation's problems would bring tangible results. I think that is supposed to just make us to be a bit sober so that we can reflect on our issues, so that we don't get things befuddled, or let me say our focus don't shift from what we need to achieve at this critical point in time, because a lot of people are complaining the economy is bad, this is that. It is true, but if the president is going to be able to work assiduously and effectively for the good for that good and you know, egalitarian Nigeria that we desire, we need to give him time. We need to allow him to approach it the way he thinks best, because he is, you know, an experienced politician, an astute politician who has been in that field for so many years, and we believe he understands how these things are rolling.
Thank you, Mr. Femi. Did you notice something while you were coming to the studio, to our studio today?
Well, that's the fact that the roads are not so busy. I guess that has to do with the
you can now see why the president said
holidays.
Where the president said he wants the 63th
anniversary of the independence to be low key,
so that everyone will only be committed to one thing: stay at home and pray.
And pray, yes.
And allow the road to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Would you prefer having the road like that every day?
Well,
the answer would definitely be no.
I wouldn't say,
because the economy will not be growing. When the roads are busy,
this is only for today and this period of celebration. I'm sure we need an active economy, movement, so that we can go and do what we need to do.
Again, in addition to that, we're having everything quiet today. But why the government is thinking about improving our economy,
right?
Getting foreign investment to come in.
Yes.
In the course of the last visit, the president had, the last trip the president had a meeting with those in the diaspora, advising them to come home and join the government, to come home and invest their little bit they have acquired there, to come home and add their expertise
to the growth of the economy. Absolutely.
Thank you. But as it is, when the Labour persistently saying that they want to go on indefinite strike, do we really need such thing at this critical time of our economy?
Okay, really. Thank you very much for that question. As far as I'm concerned, it's a double-barreled question. And I will answer the latter part of it first. As far as I know, the economy of Nigeria is in a stage where we need policies that can really give us results, and as far as I know, the president is doing his best in trying to enable Nigeria to achieve that stage. Basically, the economy, other Nigerians, Nigerians from all walks of life should actually see this issue as a situation where their own contribution, individual contributions, go a long way in achieving the total results, overall results that the president is looking at. Now, you mentioned the issue of the president asking people in diaspora to come back home. I will quickly say that much as, one is willing, or let me say a lot of Nigerians, many Nigerians are willing to support the efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I would want him to do a lot also in the area of making this environment conducive, for those people to come back. Because it is when they come back, like he wants or desires, that, that expertise that you talked about, the ingenuity, the experience, the knowledge that Nigeria needs to come out of the woods, I believe that many of them will be able to add, to that. They will be able to walk in that direction.
Don't you think that it will be appropriate for those in the diaspora? They cannot know Nigeria the way they left it.
Absolutely.
Don't you think it's more advisable that they come in or they give their own advisory role to contribute and allow those who know the in and out of Nigeria?
Yeah.
That is the problem we had with the Lagos State government and the Lagos State House of Assembly. When the governor, in the person of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, submitted his list of commissioner nominees, we have about 55% of those names coming from
Overseas.
the diaspora. Maybe we should just
Quickly.
reduce that word and use in the diaspora,
Okay.
because that is the in thing now. They don't say overseas anymore. Now, there are some people here who labored to ensure that our governor become elected,
Absolutely.
who fought tooth and nails with their neighbors,
To make sure that it gets.
particularly against the Labour Party.
Okay.
Some lost their lives and everything. Then the next thing is they have to bring in, let me use their word, quote and unquote, the technocrats. What are those who are graduates, who even have more certificates, who are exposed, who knows every corner
Of the state.
of the states? We have problems here, we have problems here. We have engineers. They are super technocrats in their own right,
Absolutely.
but they are being ignored and their names. And that is the reason why, for the first time in the history of Lagos State, we have our commissioner list being approved very late. We are always first in budget. We are always first in this commissioner list. It almost creates a sort of big problem between the governor and the speaker, in the person of Otumba Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa. But with the intervention of the Governor's Advisory Council, they were able to resolve it.
Resolve the issue. Yeah.
But it ends up in a win-win, no win-win situation. Nobody won.
No winner, no
No
vanquished.
winner, no vanquished. So for these reasons now the same thing, but thank God, in the person of our president, his nominations from each state, and he took to it, and that's it. The issue of ministers is over.
It was quickly resolved.
So all those ones doesn't have meaning. But them coming in with every hope, let me just emphasize, of believing that when they come, are they the one that will do the light? Are they the one? But bring in your money.
Okay.
We have where to put it. You can bring in your money and monitor how your money
how
goes.
it's being used.
Don't you think it's more appropriate in that way than asking them
To come and
to leave their
fill
valuable job
and come and
then
fill
come
in
and
positions.
where we don't have light?
Absolutely.
We are our amiable president is struggling to ensure that, yes, because light is stable in my area now. I don't know
Okay.
about your area.
Well, I think I can say the same.
And I'm happy to be in Nigeria too. I don't know if my
opinion is,
if my producer is having the same feeling,
Okay.
because light is very stable
Now.
in my area. Yes, I can assure you. Though when
As
I got
against what it used to be.
as against what it used to be.
We thank God for that.
So things are improving, but some may not see it. But the Labour are insisting. The president said he will be revealing the new minimum wage
Okay. On
first on Independence
Day. Yes, I heard that.
And when you look at the president, whenever he's addressing us, he's always concerned. He looks sober. He doesn't look in any way being arrogant. He feels what we are feeling as a
The
Nigerian.
pulse of the average Nigerian.
Yes. You can see it in his countenance. You can see it in him. Do you think this labor impending indefinite strike, is it necessary, my brother?
Well, to start with, I would say the labor, the NLC, the TUC, whatever, they probably have their genuine reasons for wanting to, embark on a strike. Because absolutely the Nigerian populace, the average Nigerian worker expects the NLC to fight for their rights, But much as NLC has the privilege, or let me say the mandate, to do that on behalf of the people, it also needs to realize that, there are times that you need to adopt, just like I said earlier, there are times you need to adopt different approaches to doing whatever you're doing. Excuse me. Now, for so many years, the NLC had used this approach of strike, and all of that. But as far as I know, it hasn't really yielded the kind of results that we want it to yield. So for now, in the absence of any other method that they might think they could use, I would suggest very strongly that they go back to the negotiation table, you know, to still go back and judge with government and see how, you know, both of them can arrive at a very good conclusion, a kind of conclusion that will bring, you know, progress that will make everybody happy. And I would also say this, the government too should be willing, okay, you just rightly said it now, you know, that the president is a man who seems to have that human compassion, yes, the human milk of compassion, and he's showing it, you see it in his mood, it's obvious. So based on that, is as a man who feels the pulse of the nation, I believe he can also instruct the labor minister and all those who are negotiating on the side of government to make sure that they give labor a good bargain that will make them feel, you know, understood in what they are asking for. Because I believe the labor is caught between, so to speak now, the devil and the deep blue sea. They have to try to accede to the demands of the populace, you know, who expects them to fight for their rights, you know, economically, politically, whatever, in whatever dimension. And then also, they are also trying to make sure that they don't do, you know, what, you know, may aggravate the economy as a whole right now by not pushing government too far or too hard. Because when they do that, it might make government to also turn its, you know, its face to them and say, okay, you know, I mean, it becomes a kind of quarrel instead of a negotiation, instead of a judge that will bring positive results. So labor has to be very, very careful. Much as it wants to, you know, fight for the rights of the people, it must not, you know, seem insensitive to the plight of government. And that is a position that the NLC needs to adopt now. The strike may not really...
Mr. Femi, let me just add to what you just said. In our days, there's something they normally deduct from our salary. And they call it union dues.
Union dues, yes.
What are the labor using that money for? In those days, if you look around Nigeria, there is this labor vehicle. They said labor vehicle.
Yes.
Labor
NLC, you see NLC. Those very big.
But those buses are not on the road now. What are they? You see, before you say you are not serious, I have to be serious with myself. I have to show in all ramifications that I'm a serious person.
Absolutely.
The labor is not the issue of strike. They need to join hands with the government to move things forward. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is willing to work with anyone that has genuine, reasonable suggestions and ideas that can move this economy forward.
Absolutely.
He has his men, his think tanks, ears glued to the ground.
To the ground, yeah.
Just to ensure. But the labor believes that the only thing they know of is to go on strike. Is that the right way to go? What are they using that money? The labor
union dues you mentioned.
The union dues. What are they using it for? In the days of our fathers, in the days that I know, you see labor vehicle. Nowadays it's NERTW or whatever
you
sort
don't
of.
See you are very correct.
Anything about labor. Even
that's a good
they
point
apply interstate.
That's a good
from
point.
From Kaduna, from other states. You see labor vehicles, and people are eager, anxious, just like what the governor of Oyo State
is doing.
He's just started doing now. He's not doing it.
Okay.
He just started doing it in order to make our own citizen
more comfortable,
just by way of
cushioning the
effects of what is happening.
Absolutely.
Lagos State, well, we are always leaders anyway, and once we start, we start. Once we start, others follow. But I really appreciate the Oyo State government too, joining the same wagon. And I'm sure within the next 6 months, this is a government of just 5 months old, Mr. Femi.
Absolutely.
And we're having problem of certificate, problem of this, problem of that. We should inculcate a lot of good ideas into our system and not bad ideas. Not a win, I must win, I must win, I must win situation. Is this call for strike? Is it necessary? Indefinite for that matter.
It is, I said it before, it may not work. They may see it, I mean, NLC may see this move as something that would yield results. But I'm sure that for any right-thinking Nigerian who knows the history of strikes in this country, we won't really advise that NLC should go for a strike. I've said it, and I will still say it again. There is a need for NLC to look at the issue again and again and see if there are other avenues they can exploit to make government to see reason with them and grant their requests. And you know, when I said that before, I said it that it's going to be a two-way thing. Okay, it's like a two-way traffic. The NLC, if it can, you know, adopt this position I'm mentioning, I'm talking about right now, that is to pause a bit and look at issues again more, you know, in a from a deeper perspective, you know, to focus more, you know, and reason better on this action it wants to take, and then the government also going, you know, beyond the usual points of making promises to the workers which they will not fulfill. Although I want to believe that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu
will not fulfill,
will not do that. You know, in the past, some administrations have made promises to workers who will do this. In fact, during the Jonathan administration, there were issues like that they were dragging for years. The government says it will do this for us, particularly when you look at the salary scale, you know, of the university teachers who were on strike for a long time during the administration of President Buhari. Okay, I wouldn't deny the fact that NLC has issues to resolve with government, but the approach is what matters. Okay, the strike may not work. In fact, it is very, very unlikely, 90 to 10.
My additional concern, and that's
my additional
concern is that whatever the labor union are asking for,
yes,
it's always a one jacket thing.
How do you mean?
What I meant is that the IGR, the monthly IGR for Lagos State,
right?
You can't compare it with Osun State.
Absolutely.
You cannot compare it with Oyo State. You cannot compare it with Kaduna State. Yes, Kano State is equally buoyant. And I think some other states like that.
Just few.
Just few. Yet, what they are telling them is national minimum wage. That's why it's not working. Let all states, I presume, that's my own assumption,
determine what it's going to pay.
You can imagine, see in Lagos State, my great state. I don't know about your state. Mr. Fred. Which state are you from, sir?
Osun.
You can imagine. They are delicates of these days. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
You now see, as soon as Mr. Sanwo-Olu, our amiable governor, along with the master engineer, which is Babafemi, Amsat. As soon as they assume duty, they increase the state workers' salary.
Absolutely.
But it was not known to a lot of people.
Lagos was actually the first to do that.
It was not known to a lot of people. That is why, in most of these labor calling out strike, Lagos State staff, Lagos State workers don't usually join.
That's true.
And they'll say it out because they're happy. Though nobody can say, I am happy.
But at least they know that
at least they are comfortable,
making efforts to,
you know, and whatever our own son too, in the likes of Asiwaju, the great Jagaban of this world, is bringing on board. I'm sure he too will definitely, Sanwo-Olu will definitely oblige the Lagos State workers. The same
Lagos State workers. I want to.
So they need to adopt the labor union, the one from Lagos State. When they are at the center, they should be able to talk to themselves.
Absolutely.
And reason that, is there any need for all this?
To embark on a strike at this point.
Is Nasarawa State, as small as it is, or Zamfara State, can they afford
to go on strike?
Can they afford to go on strike? Can they afford to pay whatever they are bringing on board?
I don't think so.
And it's always a problem. We have some states that are owing their workers.
Oh, yes.
Over
Owing
12
workers,
months.
owing pensioners.
Owing pensioners.
As well. Yeah.
Because whatever they are doing, they hardly consider pensioners anyway. And particularly those on the pension funds administration. They hardly consider them because they are is permanent, it's history.
That's
but I know when we get there, the great Jagaban will consider them at the appropriate time.
That's
please,
true.
One word of advice for the labor union, please.
I know that, whatever we do in our individual spaces or whatever we do on a corporate level, okay, let me go to family first. Individual level, family level, corporate level, or let me say corporate/government level. All these things have consequences. And so if we can, as a God-fearing nation, a nation that, worships God so much, we have so many mosques, so many churches and all of that, and we pray a lot. But, we need to add one or two things to our prayers, and that is to reason that whatever actions we take would have dire consequences, either in the nearest future or in the distant future. And when we know this and realize it fully, I think it should begin to, help us in one way or the other to adjust on whatever actions we want to take, so that we don't end up damaging the economy, all in the name of wanting to fight for the rights of the people. Don't forget that, God is the ultimate judge. Even when you feel that, okay, maybe things are not really okay, you are seeing some, upsets in the system, things that you don't like, as a God-fearing person, averagely I'm talking about now, you take it to God in prayer, and God has the power to intervene in the affairs of men. That is it.
Yes, on this note, we need to pay some bills. We'll get back right away. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of the Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare.
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalin day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
This is a maiden trip and it has to go smoothly. I have my card and I'm hoping that everybody has.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today.
My experience on the train, this is a welcome development, for Lagos. It was really, it was fast, and then we're able to get to our destination pretty okay. With this new innovation, I believe that traffic management will be way better in Lagos. Overall experience, it's an amazing innovation, and I look forward to more innovations like this in Lagos. Thank you.
From the fury of yesterday to fame.
The experience was very electrifying, very interesting. The students we brought really enjoyed the experience. We are from Lagos State Resident Registration Agency. Our card, like ID card, could also be used to board the train.
My experience was very smooth. The landing was very subtle. I really enjoyed it. And for commuters coming in from 2 to Marina, it's going to be a smooth ride. You have nothing to worry about. Understand that it's a fully energized train. Okay, so the speed and the travel time will be really, really reduced, unlike maybe flying a BRT or a public bus. It's going to be a very subtle experience.
Excited. It was her first trip on the train today, and we came from Egomu to Marina, and it was very smooth.
It's similar.
It was seamless.
Did you enjoy the Wi-Fi as well?
Yeah. Oh, there is Wi-Fi.
There's free Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
Welcome back, our viewers, to your regular bi-daily tonic, Alive Political Views. I don't want to. We still have our guest in the studio, in the person of Mr. Femi Fafiebi. What we are going to look into now is also what is happening. In the last days, we have, Mr. Femi, we have the tribunal calling for a rerun at Etiosa, local government, here in Lagos State. We have the tribunal in about 2 days or 8 days ago, on Monday precisely.
Okay.
This PDP, Labour Party, taking the incumbent governor in the person of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu
to the tribunal.
To the tribunal. And the tribunal, in their own wisdom, thrown the case out.
Mm.
But they are still murmuring. They are still grumbling. They are still fumbling that, look, we still have to fight it. Equally, the Etiosa case is a clear-cut case. And I believe the governor of Babajide Sanwo-Olu had 700 and something thousand votes to 300 and something thousand votes.
In Etiosa?
No.
Okay,
the overall,
in
to 63,000 votes, for God's sake. Yes, they are still going to court. I don't understand that. So, and the last one I want us to touch on was also on this, after the court have decided on, after the tribunal have decided on the Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi's case at the tribunal, they are still going for appeal to the Supreme Court. Well, everyone has their right to do whatever they like.
Absolutely.
But I say it, and again, lately, we have this certificate saga. Let me just take you back a little, Mr. Femi. About during 1999, when Mr. Bola Ahmed, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was our governor.
Lagos State governor.
The great comrade in the person of Gani Fawemi fought this case to a standstill, yet he lost on this certificate thing. Is it a crime in this country that when you are doing the right thing and you are being quiet over things, You have been, you see, a lot of people believe that they love to keep their personal something, their family matters, away from the glare of the public.
Yeah.
But some people believe whoever is behaving like that must have something
to hide.
To hide.
Absolutely.
But is it a crime, please? Is it a crime? Because we have been on this certificate thing since 1999. And this man continuously responding to them, yet they are not satisfied. Now, the great Adamawa, the great Adamawa man, in the person of Atiku Abubakar, still believed there is something to prove, and left the shore of this country. Whatever the decision is not binding on Nigeria anyway, because we are a sovereign nation. But that is not an issue. Now left the shore of Nigeria
to go and institute
to go
a case
as far as Chicago to make inquiry. And it's not even asking for the transcript or whatever on just the last result, but semester by semester.
He wants all the details.
Yes, semester by semester. Is it not a waste of time? Is it necessary? The money we don't have in Nigeria, the hard currency that is missing in Nigeria is being thrown about abroad. What do you say to it? Generally, the three areas, please.
Okay, let me try to follow it the way you, tabled them, starting with the Etiosa rerun. Basically, the rerun is something that I think was ordered, because the tribunal felt that was the right thing to do. But at the same time, I want to believe that the parties that are involved know that a rerun, is just what it is. It's a rerun. And then each of them would have to try to position themselves in such a way that they would not, be seen to be contradicting any of those election guidelines that have been spelled out. And of course, when you say a rerun, you are only just trying to, I believe that the tribunal was only trying to make sure that the minds of these people, are clear. Those who are contesting, that APC won. Okay, actually, the LP won, but was, the results of the victory was nullified, and then a rerun. Now, if there's going to be a rerun, it will be because the tribunal must have seen that there were some anomalies in all that happened. And then this rerun, I believe, is something that all the parties should have an open mind towards, to make sure that they don't run foul of any law. Because at the time that election was conducted, there were issues, so many issues that we cannot begin to talk about now because of time. But I know that the tribunal knows what it did when it said, go for a rerun. And I know that when they go for this rerun, whatever had gone wrong in the first instance will be corrected. And then we are going to see how it plays out. But I believe that the people of Etiosa too would have all their, how do I put it now? They will be ready and willing, to come out and do the needful so that, we can come out with a tangible result, after that rerun. That one is very, very important.
On the Sanwo-Olu, Labour and the PDP.
Yes, on that is at the state level now. Yes, the tribunal threw out the petitions of both Labour Party and PDP. And I think basically it is because they must have seen that there wasn't much of substance probably in what those parties were bringing up as issues, in their petitions. And as far as I know, the parties that were, disappointed by that judgment just need to understand one or two things.
Are you sure that the Labour Party, they are not trying to leverage on the fact that they won by 10,000 votes during the presidential
Possibly,
election.
yes, possibly.
And as such, they ought to win.
In Lagos City.
I believe that was what may have prompted.
That is actually possible. Just like when we say that for Atiku, it might be that he has, some ulterior motive in continuing to pursue a case that has been dispensed with by the, elections, presidential elections, petitions tribunal.
Do we really need that now?
We don't.
At this crucial time.
We don't.
Look
Absolutely
at the
not.
results.
That's
Do we really need that?
That's what
if really and truly their intentions is to serve Nigeria.
Exactly.
Their intentions is to serve Nigeria.
In fact, I think many
I'm
of
sure they're supposed to. The Jagaban of this world, I've said it in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I've said it that asking them to join him in moving Nigeria forward.
Absolutely.
If someone said, definitely if two people had a fight, or you are in a game of football, or whatever,
and a certain team wins,
definitely without a team winning clearly, they will not handle.
The referee won't blow the whistle.
And that is the problem we have in this country. Are we not matured enough
to be able to
going 63 in few days time?
Yes, absolutely.
We are still dragging our feet. And we have someone now who is very versatile, willing. You can see what he does in 1999 when he assumed the mantle of leadership in Lagos State. He did well. And cut across the state, 36 plus 1. He has all his foot soldiers there.
Absolutely.
That is why he's being called the Jagaban of Bagu. Yet, we don't seem to appreciate this man for who he is, for what he is doing.
And then I will quickly chip something in that I believe, is important. Just crossing my mind now that I think some of these politicians should take a cue or learn a lesson from past President Goodluck Jonathan, GEJ. When the declaration was made that he had lost, it is on record he was the first person to congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari. And I think he also made that famous statement that, the blood of any Nigerian is not worthy his presidency. And so that means he is a completely non-violent person, somebody who was able to accept defeat, graciously, and somebody whom we can call a good sportsman, So if that be the case, I would want to suggest that, these other, concerning the situation we are having right now, let all the others who have been given, after the judgment has been given by the tribunal, let those who were, who felt disappointed by the judgment given by, let them take a cue from this and come home to build, with the president of Nigeria right now, President Bola.
That's still on.
Very important.
That's still on. Suddenly, the issue of Chicago.
Yes, that one came up.
That one too came up.
Yes, it came up.
Is it necessary?
It came up because, like I said, there is a possibility that Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, the presidential candidate of PDP, may have some personal reasons why he has kept on, going after this issue. Because recently we heard that Chicago State University management came up with a statement saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in that university.
A bona fide.
He was a student. And after that, I really don't think that the presidential candidate of the PDP should, continue to pursue this matter beyond, a reasonable, what do you call it?
But they are still not satisfied.
Border. That is what is difficult for most people to understand, actually. But I think, when it comes to the human brain, the way the human brain works sometimes is difficult to understand. So, but at the same time, what the generality of the people are saying now is that, look, this judgment has been given by the, tribunal on its on the aspect of election, and then the CSU has also said there is no case for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to answer as far as the certificate issue is concerned. So I think it is time for them to sit down, all those, who are still agitating and complaining about this certificate issue. Come to think of it, the Constitution of Nigeria has clearly stated that for anyone running for presidency, you don't need more than a secondary school certificate, by the way. So, and I also know this, that it is not a certificate that would make, that is to look at it literally, it is not a certificate that will make somebody to perform. Somebody who is going to perform would have certain qualities, which I don't believe those certificates can accord to that person. One of them was what you mentioned the other time, that our president is a compassionate person. There is no university that will teach you how to be compassionate.
No.
So if he has this and other, natural inborn qualities that makes him to, excel to that place, I think Nigerians in general should, give
I
him
think
support.
we still have more to talk about this, all that we have discussed today, for the simple reason that it's an ongoing matter.
Ongoing issue, yes.
It's an ongoing issue. And I
have not
believe
yet seen
we
the
pray
end.
to have a quick end to it.
Amen.
So that we don't discuss this. We need to discuss development.
More, yes,
we need
more
to discuss
germane
a
issues.
lot of improvements
There are a lot of
going
issues on ground,
across
yes,
all strata
that will bring
political
development to
phase, that will bring
to the
development to
nation.
state.
Yes.
On this note, Mr. Femi, I appreciate your coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
and
giving
I appreciate
your time.
you for having me here
For giving us your time too.
Thank you very much.
My viewers on Alive Politics today, we have gone through few things that are trending on the political front. We have more to say, but time will not permit us. We want to use this medium to appreciate all our viewers and also invite you to join us same time on Friday. We'll be here, and I'm sure you too will be there for us by the special grace of God. I say, Eid Maulid Nabi to all our Muslim brothers. Thank you, and have a blessed day. God bless.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.